Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez here, hanging out, Black and Yellow Dog app, the platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy. Man, pretty fun NBA Finals. Some of our friends were able to get home in the dance contest there, in the Gills Arena contest as well. So mad respect to the community. We'll walk through some of those there. Shout out to Underdog for giving us the best baseball slate with a variety of options around their 70K in total prizes today in baseball. We'll walk through everything you need to know for that 8-gamer there. And then we got brand new NFL contests up on the platform. Hot debate over the weekend between 20-second and 30-second clocks, and how many clocks do we truly need in the lobby? Maybe I'm lobbing for a 10-second clock and a 15 just to get more options in there so people can sit in lobbies and wait and stop complaining. But the good people at Underdog did right on everyone and brought 3 new contests, all with 20-second clocks. Man, what else can you say? Everything's available for you right now.
Yeah, I think the 20-second clocks for the side contests or the time box contest, I think makes a ton of sense. So
yeah. New normal.
Yep. Yeah, I think that is a great way to kind of solve that problem for sure. Yeah, glad they listened, and we move on. We move on.
Love it, dude. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. I do think it's really good new normal for side contests. I don't love the split option, and the fill rates reflected that. So then just making a definitive decision between 20 and 30 makes a lot of sense to me. We've loved it because we're sickos, we're hardo users, that sort of thing. But I think almost everybody right now who's drafting at this window in time is exactly that, right? So, yeah, not sure we're ready for it in the daily streets just yet because of, some tech issues associated with the UI that's, bouncing between preloaded drafts and that sort of thing.
Never dailies.
Never dailies.
Never. No.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it both ways. I tend to lean your way as well. Never dailies. I would like to see the 30 stay kind of forever there, and that be the normal for dailies, just because people are doing so many more of them at a given time, especially jamming at lock there, and the time is necessary. And especially if you have the 2-pick jump on the clock feature that people are talking about implementing and stuff. It's been implemented in best ball, but if it were ever to be implemented in the daily streets there, I mean, we would just want to have 30 seconds to avoid that happening frequently, right?
Yeah. It would. The drafts are 6 rounds long. We don't need 20-second clocks.
Yeah, entirely fair. Yeah. Yeah, who is Car Park 03? People are wondering.
Trying to find this fucking
Everybody's
guy.
trying to find out. No, man, he is he's truly goated right now. I got him to bring up as one of the winners over the weekend there. Took a WNBA crown down for 5K, man. Yeah, my generation's Busters boys. That is very, very good, Gumby. We get too much praise for Gumby. Let's move on. Nez, let's talk about the finals last night, man. Did you enjoy yourself? Did you I mean, we were harping on OKC being the better team. OKC we thought would win the series, that sort of thing. It went 7. It took a Hallie injury maybe for it to be solidified, but yeah, thoughts on the finals last night?
Yeah, it was really brutal for Hallie. Hated that. Yeah. I mean, you just can't be playing on strained calves. It just happens. This is not the first time.
It happened to Dame earlier in the playoffs as well.
And I'm pretty sure KD's Achilles was a strained calf as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just can't play on that, man. But I don't know, man. I didn't think that this was a very memorable finals. This was really the playoffs. The story of these playoffs were the Pacers. And yeah, they, obviously fought hard for all 7 games of the finals. But for me, I just I don't know. I like the NBA. I do. I watch a lot of NBA. This isn't me being a hater. It's just I just did not straight up think am I being critical? Absolutely. But I did not think that this was a very great, I didn't think that this was a great showing by the Thunder, but maybe I need to give more props to the Pacers for giving them so many fits. I don't know, but ultimately I didn't leave these finals feeling like, wow, that was like those were great games.
Dude, fully agree with you. Fully agree with you, man. And if you want to poke holes like further in it, people are going to make the arguments about the path that the Thunder took outside of that Denver series. Denver was shallow and Aaron Gordon got hurt. But people will talk about the Steph injury, and then they'll talk about the Hallie injury, and then they'll talk about the Nuggets not being at full strength and that sort of thing. But man, I don't want to discredit the second youngest team to ever make a finals and the youngest team ever to win a finals. I think they're set up to be an amazing team in the future. But I fully agree with you, Nez. I don't think it was a showcase of phenomenal basketball. I was happy that we got a seventh game out of it. I was happy that there were isolated moments throughout the whole playoffs that this game popped off. And, you could point to a couple games along the way in a couple different series. But I think Knicks Pacers was a more enjoyable watch from afar series than the final series was. I think Denver OKC was a more enjoyable watch from afar than the finals was. So it is a little bittersweet. I do get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it kind of exemplified where we're at in today's NBA, which is like, there is a lot of parity. And it's on purpose. The latest CBA was, 101 goal of the latest CBA was for greater parity. I'm not so sure that is good for the product, but I think that's what this series like exemplified was there's a lot of parity in the NBA right now. But shout out to the Thunder though. I mean, I don't think it's not like I think that they're like fraud champs or anything. I mean,
no.
Like they beat the shit out of the Timberwolves, let's not forget that. Like, they coasted in that series, and that was a good team. I thought they beat. So they did that convincingly. I'll give them that.
Yeah. A couple things about OKC: third most wins ever in a season, including postseason. So number one was that Warriors team that actually lost in Game 7 to the Cavs. So that's number one all time. Bulls are number two, one of those 90s teams, the 4 years that Jordan was a monster, and then this team, and then a previous Bulls team there. So thought that was pretty cool. And fourth player ever, SGA, Finals MVP, regular season MVP, and scoring title in the same year. And like those are going way back. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it once, MJ did it 4 times, and Shaq did it once. That's it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, man, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. It was just man. Poor Hallie though.
Did you see SGA throw up those half court shots at the buzzer of both times and like just get like nowhere near? One thing I did really notice with like Nembhard in the defense in the last like couple like 2-3 games when he was playing the ISO stuff is like obviously SGA is an amazing bag with like the footwork and the mid-range stuff and that sort of thing, but he gives no credence, Nembhard that being, gives no credence to his step back because he's just daring him to shoot it. Man, if SGA adds a 3, like look out. But he was 0 for 6 to start that game. And I was shocked that he was even taking that many. I think he was like, okay, it's game 7. It's my time now. Because the previous like 3 games, he was putting up like 3 a game kind of thing. Like he just wasn't even shooting them because he knows it's not his game, right? So I don't know, man. It's crazy to just think that this team's so young and they could all still take a step forward.
Yeah, the team itself is just set up with assets out the ass. So, I mean, all these picks, all these young guys, they're set up to be a problem for years.
Yeah. Couple things in the chat. Yeah, pour one out for the sickest, ugliest pick'em there with the 0.5 on Chet. We were going to break the bank. We were going to take down UnderdogFantasy.com. We were going to take them for billions there, Nez. A 33xer to close it all out. So unfortunate that Chet couldn't just, find a board. He actually did miss a free throw in the last sequence in the last 2 minutes there. But yeah, I mean, fantasy points and points are created equal. So that wasn't necessarily, what did us in. He could have had that one 3 hours before and made it easy on us. But yeah, I do fully agree with this. I think we've been talking about it the whole time. I think Carlisle outcoached Dagno. I think Dagno gets a little bit mistreated because he got outcoached. I still think he's a decent coach, and I think he did some correct things. And adjusting in Game 7 to go back to the small ball lineup clearly worked, and that sort of thing. Once Hallie was gone, and the stuff that they were doing to attack Benny Math and TJ McConnell last night was notable coming out of the half. So I thought that stuff was really good. But I think Carlisle did an amazing job to blitz the ball handler and some of the defensive switches they made.
Yeah, he was excellent for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a dirty run out. Yeah. Nez, let's talk about winners over the weekend there. I was doing some roses and stuff in the baseball streets there, so I got a handful of them in a couple nights there, but yeah, I was just enjoying the basketball and enjoying some family time over the weekend there. But I think it is only fitting to start with the season, or not season long, the playoff long NBA streets there, NBA finals. Shout out to our guy Sus Edwards in here. Four entries in there. Came up a little short, but still a very nice return there in the Gill stuff. And then we'll skip over Car Park for 1 second here and give Luke some love, man. Luke, Dog Bowl qualifier there, chops the dance here with Ace 2217. Our guy Line of Scrimmage is up there as well, even though he was sniping the shit out of our Tyreek Hill. We'll forgive him here, but he gets a nice payout in this one there. Yeah, I will bring up the actual contest and the lineups themselves, but it's kind of exactly what you would expect here. And as like you needed that core setup from OKC, which makes sense. They make it to the finals there, but then you didn't really need any like extreme outliers. Like this is just two well-constructed teams that make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Luke. Happy for him. You needed a start that was really, really hard to get, and he got it. And not only did he get it, you have to get through. So you really needed a lot to align, but did it right. So shout out to Luke, shout out to Ace who chopped, but Charlie doing it ethically without the GM start. Congrats to you, man, getting through with that. But yeah, I did not have a single SGA J-Dub Chet team. So
really?
Rip me. No, wow. Dude, that was hard as fuck.
Dude, I passed on it a couple times. Like I had like a handful. Yeah, like
John, you can't stay out of your own way, dude.
I had a handful of them. Like I set up some crazy shit instead. That's when I was flipping the board with the Knicks and stuff like that. I remember passing on one on stream. Yeah. We're all looking for the guy. Shout out to Luke, man. Shout out to Ace. Very similar teams here where you needed Hallie and Siakam on the one side, and then you needed the J-Dub, SGA, and Chet on the other. Also well constructed because scroll the F down Dort was put on there, and then had a lot of different finals outs here. It just happened to be the two Pacers one that got home, but if you end up with Detroit in the finals there, could have got Cade and yada yada, that sort of thing. Let's take a look at Line of Scrimmage's team here. Cason Wallace scores for him in the finals there, which is the true scroll the F down one here. And as you're alluding to, the more obtainable of the grouping here, but still a well-constructed team where Knicks on the other side there, and then OKC built out, and then Clippers for a 4-team build. The Wood is up here as well. Fully Loaded was up here. Yeah, man, tons of friends and family finding their way to the top.
That Cason score is awesome.
Yeah, very, very sweet to see. Now we got to address the elephant in the room, the guy who just keeps getting better night after night after night. Our guy Car Park now taking over the WNBA streets and besting one of the best WNBA players on the site here in Lava Lord. Take a look at the lineup there. And as he is prone to do, over generous, jumps on in, best community in the industry, 50 CAD, which is $30. No, mad respect, my friend. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Man, always, man. Always. The reason this community is the best is because of people like you. So mad respect. Thank you so much. What is Car Park's lifetime earnings? We're all trying to find out, LeBron. We are all trying to find out. Canadians taking over the daily streets. Damn right, Matt. Damn right, my friend. Yeah, no, beautiful stuff here. This obviously wasn't the Angel Reese game where she only put up one shot and it was a 3. So she obviously scored an abundance of fantasy points in this one. So this was later in the weekend.
And was a late addition to the injury report. So.
Ooh, so that was a little Q tag magic that came to fruition.
Yeah, real cheeky, real cheeky Q tag there. I straight up was just like, okay, well, they were like 15-point dogs. She was a late Q. I was like, all right, well, let me just get Angel Reese out of my ranks. Not smart.
And Car Park still played it straight up. Love to see it. Well done, my friend. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciated, but not
too kind.
Necessary.
Very much not necessary.
Yeah. Let's take one last look here at the NBA stuff here. I do want to see who's going to Gil's house. Your boy had a couple in the finals, but didn't get through. Birdo 5981 with a Hallie, Pascal, J-Dub, Chet, and Miles Turner. So kind of just flipping the build with no SGA there. The more obtainable of the grouping, but then had it all paired with Joker and Denver from the front end of the draft board. So love to see it, man.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that appearance when he makes that.
Fully loaded up here in this one as well. And then Sus Edwards, as we already alluded to, Sus been making some football content on his channel there too. So go check that out. Doing some hot takes stuff I saw recently. Yeah, some hot takes on like divisional hot takes or something. So yeah. Nez, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Well, there's a couple other things we didn't talk about. We gotta just talk about the KD trade, but I'll bring up one more thing before we talk about that. This one, guys. Underdog has released last year's downloadable Battle Royale NFL data. I want to see what the sharp people in the community can cook up with this. I want to see what you guys can do with this stuff here. So you can download it all by week here and break it down. So give us some information going into this calendar year. Nez, I, and Pete have been working on some stuff behind closed doors associated with this data, and I just want to see what the community can cook up alongside it. So that is all publicly available on underdognetwork.com. I will drop that in the chat for everybody there if you guys want to poke around at that. Anything else to say on that one, Nez?
No, it's big files, like over 100 megabytes per week. So you're going to need a lot of storage, a lot of RAM, but yeah, really cool stuff. I love that they release this for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Was it ID tags like same as BBM kind of thing?
I honestly haven't been able to open it yet. So
okay. So we'll mess around with it and see in a second. Okay, cool. Yeah, Car Park gonna be the first best ball billionaire. There you go. Love to see it. Not if he just keeps giving it away to the boys though. Love to see it. All right, Nez, let's talk before we do a full breakdown of the MLB slate there, the 8-gamer. Let's just bring it to everyone's attention. We got the Pitbull, the $20 price point there, 10 max entry. We got a single entry Corgi, which is a $5 price point, and then we got a 20 max at the $7 price point. A little something for everybody, regardless of your bankroll setup. So, yeah, anything to note on the contests outside of the 20-second clocks and the format?
They are awesome. Shout out to all these. Me personally, definitely hitting up that Corgi. We'll see if I can get the Poodle max. That's strictly going to be like a fast draft as I can enter it for me based on my time that I have available. And then the Pitbull, I am definitely going to max the Pitbull for sure. Really cool. Awesome they did this. A lot of people were hungry for side contests.
Yeah.
It's been heard. And the Corgi is just like an absolute like must draft. It's a must draft.
Yeah. One evergreen point that I'll just make in tandem with that, Nez, is you're saying people are hungry and stuff. Um, guys, this is a very unique dynamic that we have between our community, the Discord, the Twitterverse, and how receptive Underdog is to feedback. Believe me, if you start tweeting at redacted demanding contests, you're never fucking even getting a response. All right. So the fact that we have this very unique discourse that is very positive for the community, let's not burn that bridge by adding Numi, Hope, Brett, adding the community over and over. When $3 this, when $3, the entitlement associated with demanding that stuff. Believe me, if it was up to them and up to the site, they'd release everything every day, max contest. But this is an ecosystem, and they got to keep the baseball people happy. They got to keep the puck people happy, the basketball people happy. It's all working in tandem. They're well aware that people want a $5 one here and there. Just be patient. Things find their way to working at good times, right?
Yeah, I just I empathize with the people that like can only afford to play puppies for sure. I totally empathize with that, but like, man, just like be a little quiet, be a little more polite about it. I don't know, bro.
Just
You're
be
not
polite.
doing anything. It's hard to see. It's annoying. You know, like just I empathize. You know, I've been there. I used to be like a puppy only. You know, fire off a few BBMs guy too. Just be patient, man. I promise you, they're gonna keep things coming.
Yeah, we got a large drafting window over the entirety of the summer. Be patient. Be patient. It's all coming. It's all coming at staggered windows. But be polite. Be polite. I mean, if you're going to just, I just don't like when the feedback and the brashness of which people approach things immediately. You know, it's
no, that's definitely like the strangest part. I know not like nobody that watches us is guilty of this. You know, so we're all just kind of like preaching to the choir here. But
sure,
dude, yeah, just very embarrassing stuff to be like, here's a puppy, here's a corgi, here's a pit bull, and like, where's my puppy? Like,
right.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, that one got me. All right, just wanted to say that, get that off our chest, and address the beautiful new contests in the lobby. I'm with you, Nez. I will be jamming that pit bull. Yeah, I don't think my guy, the miso tuna, in here, suggesting if I've maxed the Superflex puppy yet. Not quite yet, but I think I'll be setting my eyes on the bulldog here from here on out. That seems a little more my jam.
Where's that?
Or the pit bull.
Man, you got to get in these Superflex streets, man. I know that like so many people are just like so anti Superflex, but like people do not play Superflex correct. And time will tell. Yeah. Time will tell how much of an edge it really is when the cards are flipped over and my advance rates are sub 16%. But I promise you, nobody is playing Superflex correctly.
I fully agree. And I fully anticipate me being one of the ones who is not playing it correctly as well, Ness. But it is a lot of fun. And we should stream a couple more of the live ones there because I do love the rogue nature of letting the room dictate where the draft goes, you know?
Yep, 100%.
All right, Neds, let's have one little conversation here. There was a big trade today. You know, I need your thoughts on Trevor Zegras going to the Flyers. My guy there. Let's talk about KD, bro. Let's talk about KD.
Okay.
Thoughts with that deal for the Rockets? Obviously, give up Jalen Green and a bunch of second round picks there. I think it was 5 second round picks there. What are your just macro thoughts?
Oh, dude. I mean, what a fucking trade for the Rockets. I mean, wowza. How is that really all the Suns could get? Is Jalen Green the 10th overall pick and a million second round picks? I mean, that's it. All right. I mean, and they plan on keeping Jalen Green?
Yep.
So that's interesting.
Is that official? They came out and said that?
They did come out and say that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, maybe that's just them. Maybe they're just talking and not meaning it. But like, that's what they said. They're keeping Jalen Green. So that's interesting. I mean, I love it for the Rockets. The Rockets have to be what, top a top 2 team in the West, odds like per the odds, I would think, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like it. We talked about this as a hypothetical, or maybe this was like a solo that I did. Like, I hate that it roadblocks their good young wings that we're such fans of. You know, like I hate that
I
aspect
don't
of
think it
it.
does.
You don't think so? No?
I don't.
Okay.
These wings are like to not add KD when you have the chance to do it for this in exchange for like letting our guys blossom. Like, no, these guys are not adequate scorers right now. Adding a Kevin Durant to this team is like solves so many problems.
Yeah.
So many
Best
problems
pure
that the
scorer
Rockets
of our
have.
generation.
The Rockets
Yeah.
were offensive rebound merchants. Like that's you can't, and we saw that you can't make a living off that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 This is a good point from Nick. Like doubling down on exactly what you're saying. Like Jabari and Tari and Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore, like they're cool, but this is Kevin Durant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's also 37-year-old Kevin Durant in an expiring deal. So who knows what that means for them next year? That's probably why the package wasn't as, large or vast as we thought. Like, it is an expiring deal kind of deal. So it is kind of like one kick at the can to see if this group, I think the Rockets are in a really strong place. And I say this because this was their big swing at like, okay, maybe we can take over the West next year with, Sengun, Fred VanVleet team option, which I'm sure they'll pick up, and then KD. And then if those young wings are good enough to be alongside that core, like this is their one big swing at it. And then if it doesn't work out, well, KD walks, Fred VanVleet walks, and you just don't have to pick up the money associated with those deals the following year. If it does work or you're close, you can just run it back again. So I do think it was like the best of both worlds for the Rockets, where it's like, yeah, sure, they gave up Jalen Green, who's, we know he's a great scorer, but he's also like a sinkhole ISO ball player all by himself on the side, right? That's going to be a very interesting dynamic to work out with the Suns, because now they have 3 of the exact same dude with Booker, Beal, and Jalen Green, just at varying age arcs of their careers, right? But they're like all like ball dominant ISO players, right? Yeah, it just interesting dynamic there. But I do agree with you, but I think I agree with it in the lens of it like slightly different. Like I like it for the Rockets. I like that they took this shot in a big way. I'm not as bullish that it's like now they're going to be like top 2 in the West kind of thing again.
You don't think?
Well, they were last year, so who knows, right? They very well could be. But yeah, I think they're in the conversation. They're in the top 4 in the West in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder, I know there's been talk, and like this is like the most like no shit news blurb of all time, that the Suns are trying to trade Bradley Beal. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Who would take a salary dump Bradley Beal? Like
Underdog,
a bad team,
buddy.
I'm guessing.
We took him. Underdog, we took him, baby, for the contract. We got him already. We already traded for Bradley Beal. He's on our team.
Listen, man. I love Underdog, and I don't want to judge Bradley Beal and what he has. Like you are one of the richest players in the NBA. Like, why are you taking that deal? Like, how much is Underdog paying you? Dude, he makes so much money. Like, however much money you think Bradley Beal makes, it's more.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Eggers is right. He's gonna be GOAT playing ones in Gil's Arena. He's gonna be GOATed taking on Nick Young in Gil's Arena.
I mean, whoever takes him is like, they're attaching picks to him, but like, they also need picks. So they're like a damn if they do, damn if they don't.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're gonna try like hell to trade him.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and I don't think it would make sense to trade Jalen Green. That was the speculation that they were going to flip him right away. But I think you just take your chances on Jalen Green being like a stud when he's just fully unleashed and playing 38 a night. Like we saw windows of time last year when the Rockets were really banged up and he was playing big ass minutes. And it was like when Fred VanVleet was out for that extended window of time and then came back and was decently limited. Like he was a fun basketball player to watch. It's not necessarily my ideal guy that I would want to build around, but like that's not a nothing burger for an expiring KD on a team that's probably not going to contend this year for the Suns.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be a huge like fucking nerd about it, then yeah, like no, Jalen Green can't play. You don't want him on your team, yada yada. But like, yeah, there were times when he was like single-handedly winning games for the Rockets because he was just like, yeah, he's a volume shooter, but like if he gets hot, it's like, dude, he looks like one of like the best scorers in the league. So like there's a place for Jalen Green. And man, the only thing is like if it wasn't like that iteration of the Rockets that was so sound defensively and like on the glass, what is it? And like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just needing a better best player, I'm not so sure. But
I mean, they addressed that. I mean, that it is true though, Ness. Like, what did we point to both in the Warriors series and like what did we point to throughout our fantasy like games and stuff? It was like Amen Thompson can't shoot. He's amazing on the defensive end, and he's amazing at like all those auxiliary stat collections. Tari Eason, a little bit similar in that mold. Jabari Smith maybe has a little bit more of a bag, but like probably all these guys are just like get to the rack guys. Like what they need is like that pure dominant like go-to scorer in crunch time because you can't always get a high side screen and roll for Fred VanVleet and Sengun to work off of, right? And we saw Fred VanVleet go like 1 for 10 multiple times last year from 3, right? Where it's like,
yeah.
Okay, we just need some raw points right now, and KD can give that to you in spades. Like, I mean, get that 20-point per game streak forever, right? So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I just still think they could use some more outside shooting for sure, and maybe Reed Shepherd like takes on a bigger role next year. I wouldn't be surprised. Can't my guy Cam Whitmore perhaps, but I don't know, man. I think Cam Whitmore is they might be trying to get him out of there too, so you could maybe see another move potentially there.
Yeah, it's a funny point from Adam in the chat here, bringing up that the Khalil Ware and the fake Joker, Jovic,
okay,
we're untouchable in the Heat report.
Get Ware out of your jokey joke post. All right, get Ware out of the snark. Khalil Ware is like very, 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 very good for 1 year of KD, but the Jovic shit, the Jaime Jaquez. Fuck your wife shit. Like what? You're not trading those guys?
He didn't even want to. Spoelstra didn't even want to play Jaime Jaquez. Like he didn't even want to play him in like the most nutted spots when they were only down to like 8 or 9 guys in their rotation at times.
I cannot believe that, and I don't like that was such like a humiliation leak from Shams that like I almost like it's borderline unbelievable.
You ready for comp guy here?
Oh boy.
Not giving up Jovic and Jaime Jaquez is the NBA equivalent of the Cardinals not wanting to part with Dylan Carlson in the Juan Soto
trade.
There
you go. Yeah. Yep.
Comp guy strikes again, baby. All right, Nez. That was a fun little, NBA winners and everything segment there. New contests on the site. Let's go full deep dive on this MLB because I know the people are thirsty to fill these contests. I did see it in the chat that we needed 1 more for a big fly and 2 more for a frozen rope in there. So be jumping in those contests. Beautiful, man. Honestly, I'm not sure you could draw up a better slate for the most available capital of the season here. I'm very fond of this slate. There is it's kind of a dumpster dive, choose your own adventure at pitcher. And then there's a whole bunch of good hitting conditions with bumps to bats in terms of weather, but none of them are in the traditional sense like Coors, because the rest of this week, Nez, I don't know if you've looked, we're going to be dealing with the Dodgers at Coors for the rest of this week. So get your slate in now, man, because we're going to be fighting over Dodgers chalk for the next 3 days. This is a beautiful 8-gamer, bumps to bats all over the place, but no minor league ballparks, no Coors Field. Obviously, Yankees versus Lodolo in Great American Small Park is probably the most desirable spot on the slate for sticks. But outside of that, man, we got a bunch of, and it's not really being drafted as such, just the top end pieces there. But outside of that, man, we got a ton of fun environments to get to and a ton of paths to win this slate tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open. Schwellenbach for me is SP1. and like you said, it's pretty shitty after that. So he's been somewhat a priority for me, given the fact that I don't like pitching today, and I think the slate itself is pretty wide open. So Schwellenbach's been like my 105 today. Just he's been super good. I know the spot isn't great, but that's where my decision making has been so far. A lot of undrafted teams that are in very similar projected run totals today. So, yeah, this is a big time like volume slate. I think it lends itself to wanting to give yourself access to a ton of different combos because there's a million different ways this slate can break, which it makes me nervous, but also is like it's a good slate to be drafted.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Shout out to Jets in the chat, dropping by to say he had 4th place on Friday. Love to see that. He's hanging out every single day for this. Big Dumper. Yeah, Big Dumper had a massive weekend with the winds blowing out at Wrigley there. Broke Johnny Bench's record for home runs by a catcher prior to the All-Star break. Yeah, going to be a lot of fun to watch that unfold the remainder of this season. I'm not surprised that Schwellenbach's your SP1. I am kind of surprised you're prioritizing him, though. I thought you'd be a little more scared off as a Mets respector. They've been sputtering a little bit in recent memory. It's funny that when the Mets were going nice, Soto was going not as well. And now the Mets are going kind of like not as nice and Soto's going well. It's kind of funny that the pendulum's working that way. But yeah, I don't know. Bump for bats, not a place that we love to get hitting from there with the Mets home park at Citi Field there. But 85 degrees with the wind blowing out at like 10 miles per hour I was a little more skittish on Schwellenbach than you were.
Yeah, he's just clearly the best pitcher on the slate. So that's where I'm at. It just makes for easy drafting. It's him or him. Woo is interesting. I don't necessarily love Woo, but he's definitely interesting. And punt. And there's definitely some good punt options. So, a lot of ways that you can play this slate for sure.
Cool. Turbotron with a little bit of ball knower saying the Mets have struggled with Schwelly in recent memory. So, take that for what you will. Interesting to see people jumping up and down for White Sox and attacking Erod there. I did build out some right-handed White Sox early in the day and thought I was being a little cute there. And then my very first draft with Nez, he did the exact same thing with a 4-man White Sox. So maybe we're not being as sneaky as we think. Unabated line for all of these games, Nez, is 8.5 or 9, with the exception of Great American Small Park with the Yankees and Reds there. Obviously, that's skewing by way of the Yankees side, Lodolo on one side, and then they're calling up, what's his name again? I forgot.
Winans?
Yeah. Allen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just hasn't been good at AAA either. So
he's 29 years old. Is he like an opener or is he actually going to be a starter today? That's my question.
I think he's starting. That's what I was looking at. Alan Winans. So yeah, that's why you get 10 runs there. And then the fact that Lodolo has been really bad at home this year, the home road splits are kind of surprising, but maybe not surprising given his home park there. Also, the Yankees have been the best team against left-handed pitching in all of baseball, and that was without Giancarlo Stanton. And now you get Stanton back, who's, not a lefty killer, but at least hits from the right side in the middle of that lineup instead of dealing with like Chisholm or Belly, who are fine versus lefties, but I'd rather have a righty in the middle of that order, and Stanton gives them that.
Yeah. Goldschmidt ADP is probably the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life. Everybody's pushing up Paul Goldschmidt right now. For good reason. He's no Jacob Wilson, but he is one of the best hitters in baseball against lefties.
Ooh, no Jacob Wilson, but
who is?
Win ends. Dogman Shell rolling through to tell me life isn't as hard as I make it. Challenge accepted, my friend. All right, Nez, let's jump into we can talk about that weather. There is nothing of concern on the slate here, but it is a big heat wave on the East Coast right now, which sees 85 degrees in that Citi Field game, 93 degrees in Great American Small Park. So obviously playing up for power there. That Miller Park game with the Pirates and Brewers is indoors, which is a reminder that that park plays a little bit better for left-handed power. Twins are, scratching and crawling and trying to get to 80 degrees there. White Sox, 94 degrees. There is a little nugget in Roth stuff that if that game was at Wrigley, just based on like the wind patterns and what we saw over the weekend, that it'd be like a massive home run bump. But obviously it's at the guaranteed rate field on the south side of Chicago there. South side? North side. South side. And then Busch Stadium, which has, as we've noted ad nauseum, hasn't been very good for home runs thus far this season, but is 90 degrees warming up. And then you get to the West Coast stuff in the evening, and it's a little bit cooler out there. Angel Stadium, about 70 degrees, a 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern start time there, or 6:38, so 9:38. And then the Padres one, we talk about the marine layer at home. We talk how it's always about 60 degrees, that for the National and Padres. So there's your weather breakdown. And then we can go into kind of just isolated run totals here and talk about some of the stacks that you're liking here, Nez. We will use the Ballpark Pal to start for that one. As you can see, kind of in tandem with what we were seeing on Unabated there for totals for the games, is everything is hovering in this like 9 to 10 range for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You see the Mets there with the lowest run total there. So you want to know why I like Schwelly. Well, I like that. I like that 3.46 here today. Yeah, kind of like what you would expect. It is sort of like interesting to me that, Cubs have Ben Brown on the mound. He's no big deal, but the Cardinals, such a low run total. So I think that's one that I look at and I'm like, okay, I don't really fear Ben Brown. Sure. Nobody's really looking the Cardinals' way. That seems like strong leverage. Not that I think that they're good plays, you know what I'm saying? Just like as far as who is not being taken, period. Cardinals definitely are, fit that mold for sure. But yeah, there's just a lot of easy leverage spots here. There's just not a lot of separation going on here, as you can obviously see.
Yeah, no, in lockstep with you there. Originally my eyes kind of gravitated to Milwaukee, and then I was like, they're gonna get a lefty on the mound for the Pirates there. He's only kind of capped at 30 pitches, 40 pitches, that sort of thing. But then I was like, wow, their ADPs are pretty high. So I started looking elsewhere. I find it interesting that Mariners have a good team total and that sort of thing, but it's basically just revolved around Cal Raleigh.
Sorry, there's not the Pirates are starting Braxton Ashcraft today.
He's lefty, no?
He's righty.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
And he is stretched out.
Okay. I saw a news nugget on Twitter that he got capped at 40 his last time and then would still be capped today. And people were hammering the lower on the 2.5 strikeout stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know he's been a starter, but that's probably all right.
Yeah, that's just one spot I was like, yeah. People were money was gravitating towards. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, not ideal for the Brewers if it's going to be a bullpen game.
Yeah, true. Well said.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a bullpen game. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so his if his strikeouts are still up there on some of the redacteds, go take a gander on the lower side of that one. The strikeout rate of the Brewers coupled with that, I can't remember who was posting about it. Someone smart. Surprised to see the implied run total and ADPs of Arizona. A little bit of that Coors hangover. They didn't play particularly well in that series. Corbin Carroll missed all 3 games and still has the Q tag today. Went for the MRI. A little bit of Coors hangover effect in terms of the ADP for Arizona, but the run total on Ballpark Pal is justifying it. Highest on the slate there. How are you treating Arizona today?
I haven't been looking their way a ton, just because I saw the ADP for Marte and Carroll, and I just wasn't sure that it was being approached correctly by the field.
Okay.
And like you said, a little Coors hangover as well. But these prices are pretty affordable, but like I don't know. I'm not that 5.8 is not passing the smell test for me.
Yeah, I mean, they had some really, really ugly lineups that they ran out in course. Like
Mhm.
we're like quad A lineups at the bottom, 6 positions. Like Eugenio Suarez had a massive Friday night when all the winds were blowing out and that sort of thing. But the game low key fell on its face yesterday and Saturday, or half of Saturday. Uh, Definitely yesterday. I can't remember what the score was. It went nuke on Friday. But yeah, actually good macro point about Friday is like, here, let's just use mine for a second here while we're talking about it. Sorry to go rogue on you, Nez, but here's a good macro point about Friday and like the leverage associated with this. I did 5 frozen ropes, obviously frozen rope, more top heavy contest there. Did 15 of the main here. Check out my exposures here. Played a lot of Lourdes Gurriel, who had an okay night. Perdomo obviously was ass. You needed Eugenio Suarez, and he was a bit lower for me. But as you guys can see, I aped all this fucking chalk, right? Like all Arizona, I aped. Kerry Bonds just needed to be Riley Green instead, who went nuke. And then Jack Flaherty fell on his face against that Rays team. So bad read by me for wanting to get pitching from that environment, right? Like Arizona scored whatever it was, 14 runs. And it's so hard to separate from the field when you're playing the exact same players as the rest of the field because you're chasing a team like this who did the exact same thing as me, but I'm playing like a 1v1 where like my Riley Green is Kerry Bonds in this lineup, right? And even though it narrows your path to victory so hard. And it's why Nez and I spend so much time on these scroll the F down gal brain stacks. And we came on Friday's show and we were like, this is the chalkiest of chalk slate, and rightfully so that we've had. But it does really narrow your path. So like shout out to Gut P for getting to the scroll Riley Green and the scroll like Tim Tawa, like because those were what you needed instead of like Perdomo or something like that. So it's just a reminder of why we talk so galbrain about this shit. Because even when the chalk gets home, you're holding hands with like a million different people if you don't scroll.
Yep. Yeah. That was a crazy slate. I don't think I've ever seen a negative score win multiple slates.
Right. Yeah. Did it win the main slate as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or
Wow.
maybe it was just Car Park, but
Car Park had the negative score up here. There you go. And the Riley Green swap. And then, yeah, Milwaukee went nuke with the 2 outfielders from that one. Wow. Yeah. Nice lineups all around. Hey, there's our guy Jets up there, 85. And D play to win. Shout out. There you go. Perfect lineup, basically. Gurriel gets there. Yeah. Negative score at the pitcher. Pitcher does not matter when you get a bunch of home runs and whatever. Anyways, macro point that I just wanted to harp on for like 2 seconds in kind of like why we do this sort of stuff. Nez, before we get into the stacks and stuff, let's rank the pitchers. You gave me Schwellenbach as your SP1. Then you said Brian Wu was kind of nice, but obviously better at home than on the road there behind. Then how we ranking it out?
Definitely not Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't really want to take Bailey Ober either. I was looking at Libertor,
Okay.
pretty strongly. Just given like his contact numbers are like really solid, and he's like a really cheap punt. So I was looking at him. He's all the way down there. Like that's crazy.
SB20.
Yeah, so he's been my like break glass if I miss out on one of these two. Maybe Ben Brown, but like it's bad, man. It is bad.
Yeah, it's a gross one, man, for sure. Some of those nice things that you were talking about, ground ball rate stuff with Liberatore, it's down a little bit, but 41.5%. So like it is behind like Ben Brown and Lodolo and that sort of stuff. I always thought it was higher than that. Hard hit rates on the slate. Kohanowitz is worst, then Ben Brown, then Liberatore, then Mitchell Parker. So just throwing that one out there. Yeah. Interesting stuff there. I wonder what Liberatore's strikeout rate is.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Everyone's bad on this slate, though.
Right.
Like the
Like,
biggest outlier is, I guess, why people are chasing Ben Brown is because he has the highest strikeout rate on the slate, and if he does run into some Ks are floors. But yeah, still 26.3%. Like not a huge outlier in terms of, ride home about.
Yeah, Matt Lib is just so good against lefties, and that's who I fear the most on in the Chicago lineup. That like, yeah, I'll take him and take his 6 points for free.
Okay, cool. Yeah, any darts on throwing at Shane Smith there? Are we Shane Smith respectors?
Shane Smith is in a category of like I like to watch him pitch, but I don't like to put money on him.
Right. Yeah.
But he's fine too.
Yeah.
His hard, like the worst thing on him is his hard hit percentage, but like he's been pretty good at limiting the results off those hard hits.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I don't think he's a great option, but
good shout.
It makes sense though, like logically.
I did see a Brian Wu stat the other day because I was wondering, like, why is Brian Wu so high here and that sort of thing. I guess when you're buying up for Brian Wu, you're buying up a good Cal Poly kid. I think you're buying up for floor, but not by way of the strikeouts, by way of depth in the ball game. I think it's 13 of his 14 starts. He's gone greater than 6 innings this season.
Yeah, you're just a good ass real life pitcher going up against the Twins lineup that is if they're without Larnach again too, I mean Twins lineup right now is ass. So
yeah,
Wu is like such a damn near lock to go to put up a
usable score,
quality start. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, man, this pitching slate, like everything about this slate is so fucking mid. It's awesome. Like you could just tell yourself a story about everything, Like Erod, for instance, it's like, oh, well, this is a good matchup, but like there's some good righties on the other side, but he's also had 2 starts this season north of 10 Ks. Like if you get that Erod start, it makes sense, but it also makes a lot of sense to get to the White Sox for right-handed leverage, especially a guy like Vargas and, Robert, who's coming back to life a little bit in recent memory. Yeah. What do we think about Chad Patrick? Because that was one we didn't touch on in this range. You were alluding to passing over Erod and Bailey Ober there, but like, what do you think about Chad Patrick? What do you think about Walker Buehler or Lodolo? What do you think about these guys?
I think Lodolo is my favorite out of that bunch. I think Chad Patrick is like a big time results merchant. Everything underlying as far as like his contact stuff just does not look good. Doesn't get ground balls. Bad hard hit percentage. I don't necessarily like love that, but it is the Pirates, so yeah, he's a good option just because it's the Pirates. But it's not like he's projected to be awesome.
Sure, yeah,
but he makes sense just because it's the Pirates.
Yeah, kind of surprising to see his K rates higher than Brian Wu this season. Just ever so slightly, but just pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I like I said, I do think Lodolo has like a bit of a higher ceiling.
Yep.
But I don't love that at all. Like in small park against the Yankees. Buehler, no thanks.
Lodolo's like the sorry, just before we move on from Lodolo, he's just like the classic high variance guy where it's like he could give you like that random like 7 innings, 9 Ks start that I don't really see anywhere else from the scroll options, Like who? Yeah.
Yep. And then I mean like Kohanowitz, I think is maybe like a sneaky option just because I think the Red Sox are in a really bad spot. But the Red Sox, that game is one of the highest total games on the slate. But I think low key, man, the Red Sox are pretty ass right now. But that's risky, I'm not saying that with like my full chest or anything like that. But like,
sure.
Man, the Red Sox are ass right now.
Yeah, they got some home runs yesterday against Robbie Ray with the righties at the top of the order there in Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refschneider. But ever since no Devers, they lose 2 out of 3 over the weekend in San Francisco. There, it's just that lineup just does not look the same, right?
Nope, not at all.
All right, dude. I think that's pretty good. Let's rank it out from the back end there. Are you full fading Erod, Ober, Ben Brown, or who of those three would you prefer?
Ben Brown.
I think so too.
But
yep.
Ober close to a full fade.
Okay.
Erod full fade.
Yep.
Bueller likely full fade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just Chad Patrick definitely looks the best out of those like back end options, I think.
Okay. So Schwellenbach and Wu kind of in a tier of their own, but Schwellenbach way ahead in Ness's mind there, which I tend to agree with now that we look at this more. I do understand why you're doing that. And then Ben Brown and Chad Patrick as in the ADP, but not full scrolls, but if they fall to you kind of thing. And then your favorite scroll left down is Matthew Liberatore.
Yep.
Seems good, dude. Seems good.
Best I can do.
Yeah. I mean, no love for professional ass pitcher Paul Blackburn.
Fuck no.
Steven Cole had a couple okay starts in there, but like it's just mean projection monster, you know? It's just like so mid. There's no ceiling to chase. It's like give me 5 points, please.
Yeah, not against the Nats. No way.
Yeah. That lineup could really use Raffy Devers. you don't say. All right, Nez, we've kind of touched on it, but let's do the official segment here. Favorite stacks on the slate and or favorite one-off bats. I do want to bring it to people's attention that this is the first time I have ever seen in the Ballpark Pal simulations, the S words there, that in the home run zone, there is a hitter above Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani, and it is Cal Raleigh today with the highest percentage of chance to homer on the slate, according to the Ballpark Pal. Was kind of surprised to see some of the Arizona bats up there as well against Shane Smith. We were a little lower on the spectrum when it came to that, but who are some potential pick to click down here and some potential stacks that we want to get to?
I have been gravitating a lot toward the White Sox today against Erod.
Okay.
With their right-handers.
Okay.
So that's been one that I've been getting to a lot. Just based on ownership and in the matchup, I really like it. I've been doing a lot of Angels as well.
Okay.
Against Walker Bueller.
Do you have sorry, just before we move on from White Sox real quick, do you have a favorite of the White Sox bats? Like,
Vargas.
Vargas, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like chasing the right-handers there. I'm drafting Slater,
Okay.
Just doing it.
Yeah. I have noticed that the White Sox are willing to let Austin Slater stay in the ball game longer than we traditionally grew accustomed to when he was, Giants, Reds, and then O's for like a brief window or something at the tail end of last year, right? Post trade deadline or something. Who would be out today? Probably. I mean, Tauchman's 100%. Yeah, he's not bad against lefties. Like, I think he's like a little bit better than Benintendi, but with the Q tag and that sort of stuff, give him a rest day on the Monday and bring Michael A. Taylor in.
Yeah. Teal, sitting, they'll start that Caro, the Edgar Caro guy.
Edgar Caro, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of names that like I'm not familiar with, but
yeah, Chase will lead off, but doesn't have like power or anything. So yeah,
just looking for right-handers. So yeah, and then like I said, definitely looking at the Angels today too against Walker Bueller in their home park. A lot of good options there. Obviously like Neto, and then the lefties there with Sean Well and
Doing some pop.
yeah, and Lamont Wade, new angel there, should be seeing himself in the starting lineup.
Yep. Called up one of their top prospects in Christian Moore.
Yeah, they don't care about their farm system. They're just like, call up the best player. Just call him up. Let our farm rot. Joe Adell, man, can't ignore the last month of Joe Adell baseball, man. It's been so impressive, and I like him against Walker Buehler, man. I don't think Walker Buehler can miss many bats. So let's go Joe Adell. So I like the Angels probably more than the White Sox, like in a vacuum.
Okay.
But I don't know. I thought the White Sox were sneaky, but it sounds like, they're the most obvious sneaky stack of all time based on the chat and what you're saying.
Yeah, I got you. A little bit of BVP here. 5 ABs for Scott Kingery against Walker Buehler, 2 Bombas. Don't mind if I do.
There you go.
The BVP believers are going to be a shambles. All right, dude. Yeah, I like that. Anybody else you want to bring up?
I mean, dude, you like every single team today is like stackable, viable, I mean, yeah. It's just the truth. Like you can do whatever you want today.
Yeah.
And you should, mm-hmm. You should be thinking about like getting as creative as possible. But I'm really into, like I said, the Angels against Walker Buehler. I mean, dude, the Joe Adell, like the last month, dating back to 5/23, just doing the month arbitrary sample.
Yep.
10 home runs, slugging 644, 176 WRC plus. I mean, we knew that he had this, this power in his bag.
Yep.
I'm gonna take him today quite a bit.
Cool. Yeah, I like where you're at on that one. Just looking at the hashtag models, as I'm prone to do after we give our own preamble there. Wu Schwellenbach, then Ben Brown for Cardi, and the hashtag model over there. I was just going to pull up some of the potential stacks that he's interested in as well. Is there anyone for you that's like a full stay away today, Nez?
I don't really think so, man. I think if anything, it was going to be just staying away from the D-backs, because I thought they would be, I didn't take a closer look at their ADPs, and because I just thought that they would have Coors hangover from and have way more capital in their ADPs, but like, no, man, I don't think there's anybody that is like a true stay away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eugenio Suarez is haunting me in my dreams. I've seen this movie for 8 years now, dude, where it's like he's just going to hit 40 home runs effortlessly and bat like 240 and 220 or something like that, and then just tack on everything around it. And I was just soft fading all dinger season like the fish that I am. And he just buries me, dude. Like I'm giving credence to like, oh, Jordan Lawler's going to come back up. Oh, they got Josh Naylor, so they can't move him to first base anymore if things go wrong. He's going to be on the move at the deadline, and man, he is feeding me this season. And he's just going to continue to hit bombas when it's 90 degrees out in Chicago, is he not?
Yeah, you would think so. Thank God it's not like Wrigley weather, but yeah, he's in a really good spot. Yeah, for sure. He's gonna hit like 40 home runs and have like 30 singles.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's exactly what he does. Same movie every single year. Just to put some numbers to what Nez and I have been harping on with like the quote unquote flat nature of this slate. Cardi has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stacks on the slate that are all within 4 projected fantasy points.
I mean, that's 14 out of 16 possible.
Yeah. 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 So the Yankees stand out in a big way. 5 points higher than the field, and the Twins are his lowest stack of the day that stand out negatively by not quite as much, but like 3 or 4 points there. So yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Of the teams getting drafted up high, Nez, I think you kind of hit on it with like D-backs and stuff was the one you were a little bit less interested in, especially if Carroll can't go today. But is there anyone else you want to point out? Like, man, Manny Machado kills lefty, and we get Mitchell Parker. I know it's not a good hitting environment, and everybody wants to get to the warmer weather games. Manny Machado stands out as like a decent little one-off for that like righty lefty, but he hasn't been homering, but he's been killing lefties. I don't know. Some other stuff that anyone else?
I think like I just right now haven't gotten to like the Cubs yet.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to the Red Sox yet. I have not gotten to the Mets yet. Pretty much everybody else I have a little bit of, you know. I've got a little bit of Brewers. Of course, I have some Pirates. Getting to the Nats. Not a lot of D-backs. You know, maybe I'll get there. Time will tell, you know. But like right now, I'm just trying to focus on the other teams that I've named so far. But optimally, if I was playing optimally, I would have a little bit of everybody today. A little bit of everybody.
It does feel like one of those spread your exposures kind of days here. Johnny in the chat saying he low-key likes Nats and Padres there. Hard hit rates for both starters has been cheeks. That seems good. Tyler saying he loves the Cubs today. Kyle Tucker's low-key been better against lefties. Hayden saying when Corum versus Jaquez Hunter talk? Tomorrow, my friend. Tomorrow. Today we are a big, beefy baseball boys. All right, Nez, let's hop in the streets here and see what we can cook up. Guys, take a look on your apps. We always talk about looking at the prize box and that sort of thing when we are building out the pick'ems. We'll build out some home run pick'ems in a half second here, but I know there was a couple deposit bonuses going around. So just make sure if you haven't logged on today or you haven't clicked on, sometimes they're in the account tab there. If there's not the big green banner across your face, go for it.
Yeah, I took advantage of that this morning.
Oh, look at you, my friend. Soaking up all the EV.
Got to. Yeah, absolutely got to.
Jet's asking about the Braves' low projected run. I understand ballpark, but Paul Blackburn, professional ass pitcher, but it does seem a little bit low to me too. I think I do prefer the Braves a little bit. Cardi has them as his second favorite stack in terms of the hashtag model there. Probably get Drake Baldwin hitting near the top again. Probably get Alex Verdugo in there as well. Man, they're gonna have some left-handed power going. What do you think, Nez?
I mean, yeah, they'll have lefties in there. I like them, despite the run total there. I think that's one that I'm going to IKB.
Okay. Nez, is it Aaron Judge for you at the 101 today?
Yep. Yeah. Hard to go elsewhere there.
Yeah. Best hitter in baseball against left-handed pitching so far this season. Lodolo's been bad at home. He gets all the weather, 93 degrees in Great American Small Park then?
Sure does.
Who's your favorite Yankee to stack with Aaron Judge today?
Goldschmidt, like no question.
Okay. Goldschmidt's been kind of bad for the last month and a bit. He was really good versus lefties early in the year. Still good, career-wise against lefties. He's just fallen off a little bit in recent memory. Speaking of falling off, Anthony Volpe went through a stretch that he was 1 for 55 or something like this. Is that real life?
I don't know. I don't think that was. I thought that was fake news.
Oh, was it? Okay. I mean, I'd believe it.
Yeah, that was not real.
Okay. Vet your sources, people. I just click shit on the internet.
Yeah, he actually was on a 5-game hitting streak, in the middle of that.
Don't believe it. It was 0 for 24, Gumby's saying. I believe Gumby, resident Yankees viewer.
Yeah, 0 for 24.
All right. I will allow it. So not entirely fake news.
No, but everybody gets a blue check, so you can say what you want.
Vex7 in here with us. I saw him in the chat earlier saying, what up? If you guys are hanging out in the chat, sometimes draft with us and that sort of thing, say what up, man. We're not going to bite. I say what up to you guys. Love to see it. We got friends and family in here. Mitchell, who took down a slate last week, aka Trackus, is in here. The game has taken down a couple this season. Turbotron always hanging out in the chat. And my neighbor from slightly down the road there, my guy Chris, North Van's finest.
These damn Canadians, man.
These Canadians are taking over, man. Car park out here, shilling $50 our way. I don't see any USD coming our way in the chats right now. That's my guy Car Park, baby. These good Canadian kids taking care of each other. People are talking, Nez. People are talking. All right, Nez, we got some decisions to be made here. We could go the Arizona route and do like Suarez. We could do some scrolling. We could do your White Sox. We could do Stanton and Goldschmidt.
If you want to do that, we can go Stanton, Goldschmidt, and then you know. Scroll? Well, we already these are scrolls. These are the scrolls.
Not where I come from, son. Not where I come from.
I mean, you scrolled in the second and third round. You scrolled.
It's baseball, Susan.
It's
gotta keep scrolling.
Those are scrolls. That counts. Like, I don't know if you're aware of this. That counts.
Well, that explains why I haven't shipped a main slate yet this year.
You're good. You're good. Now you can take whatever you want.
Like for me, I'm like, this is so chalky right now. 3-man Yankee stack. This is gross. We don't need to play this. Yet the frequency in which it's owned in the contest is probably like less than 8% because it's like 16% on Judge, and then the times he's double stacked with just these two.
Yeah, dude, it's I'm telling you, like it's not what you would expect for sure. Like, people love taking Goldschmidt unstacked ahead of ADP. It happens all the time today.
Respect it. GM Matthew, what's good, my friend? Rolling through. There you go. Feels like it was 1 for 54 when he makes 3 throwing errors a game. That's good. Here you go. Gumby's estimating that he thinks Judge and Goldie's like 5% together. So that wasn't far off.
Yeah, I would agree.
You put Stanton in there, and then it's kind of like what, 3-4%?
Yeah, that Stanton with Judge, I think, will be. I mean, maybe not on all the Judge teams, but I would bet a large portion of the Stanton teams are Judge teams for sure.
Good shout. Yeah. Good shout. Turbotron, it's been so long I took down a slate. I got relegated to hanging out in the chat. That's literally my job, bro. It's literally my job. Been relegated. Dude, we could pair up just like, the lefties here from Washington, GM there.
That's
we could
crazy.
Go. What do you like here? It's baseball.
I like James Wood and CJ Abrams.
So lame. All right. Just for
I know it pains you to draft good teams, but I think we should take CJ Abrams and James Wood whenever they're past ADP.
Just for Nez, we'll take the nice plays, but we're definitely drafting another one here because we got to get crazier than this, man. I thought we were going to go hunting there. I thought you were going to tell me like Ryan Noda one-off today. He's better lefty.
Noda's not even going to start today.
That's why it's so sick. Oh man, dude, you know who's
lost with Carroll?
You know what would be like the absolute goated contrarian way to win this slate? Seattle without Cal Raleigh. Not financial advice, but like
that would be something. I do like Seattle, but I love it with Cal.
Yeah, right. Yes, you're right. Dude, you know who's absolutely popping in the ballpark, pal, which I found shocking, but just going to get lead off at bat with a little bit of weather? Look at this.
They always love
Crawford.
JP Crawford. They love him.
Dude hits like 7 home runs a year, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, today, 25% chance. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. They're always all over him.
I love playing Will Benson too. Like, I always play Will Benson. I'm addicted to playing Will Benson.
Yeah, I know. I was into playing Will Benson, and then I was like, oh, let's check out, like, you know, how he's been playing in the month of June, and it's been terrible.
Yeah. Will Benson, the left-handed Joseph Adele of the Reds.
Maybe.
Comp guy. That's a good comp. Okay, so you're out on Erod. He's staring us in the face. We can't do these other guys. Where's your guy? Libator. Matthew Libator. There we go.
Easy.
Men of our word. Scroll the F down. A flat 36. SP20. Come aboard, my friend. Let's go. That's how you make your Goldschmidt, Stanton, and Judge teams unique. We scroll here.
I like that. That I like.
Des, before we roll into the next draft here, I'm going to take a little look at our friends on Underdog MLB, see if we got any lineups for the day. Cameron Misner was sent down for the Rays. That'll impact tomorrow's slate. Frito leading off. Matt McLean back to the 2-hole. So there's a scroll the F down in a good hitting environment versus a AAA pitcher who's not getting drafted right now. So that's kind of fun. Spencer Steer back to that 4-hole, his home there. Jake Fraley as a scroll the F down outfielder instead of Will Benson, not in the lineup today. Baltimore is not on our slate. Tyler Fitzgerald got sent down. Jameer Candelario got optioned, or he got DFA'd, so somebody will probably pick him up. And then we got a Twins lineup. Wow, Brooks Lee all the way up there, and Trevor Larnach. So you're going to get a little 3 lefties in the middle there because Brooks Lee's a switch hitter. Another good poly. Oh, dude. I got the narrative. Brooks Lee, Brian Wu, teammates, Cal Poly 5 years ago, faced each other in BP. You know, he's seen him nice. He's seen him since he was like 16, 17 years old. There's the narrative. Brooks Lee today.
Brooks Lee.
Dude,
I like Brooks Lee.
Tell me anybody else knows that much fucking ball that they played at fucking Cal Poly together. Come on.
I definitely didn't.
Write it down. Write it down. McLean on a 10-game hitting streak, too. Love that. Nico Horner, people are saying. All right. Nez, let's rip one more, and then let's do some home run picks to click, and then we are going to call it for the day. I got some real-life stuff to catch up on here, and I got a little bit of a time crunch. Your boy's got to go for 2 skates and a training session tonight. Feel like I'm 20 again. Oh. LeBron saying don't sleep on the Brewers stack. I respect it. I mean, they don't strike out a lot. So that's pretty good.
I'm sleeping on the Brewers stack.
Okay. I mean, it's
not against my team.
It's a little bit overpriced. It's definitely a little bit overpriced. Like these are some pretty high ADPs. Actually, that's not crazy. 12 and 26. Just a little bit higher than some of the other teams you can scroll to.
It's just like, I just hate paying for like recent production. And Christian Yelich, you know, in the last week has been like the best hitter of all time. And I don't like paying a premium because the guy had like the best week of all time in baseball.
Sure. Yeah. No, the classic recency bias narrative there. Nez, we could do a little contrarian red stuff now that we have the lineup. So we could take Ellie and then we could add on like Steer and McLean who are hitting up there. We could do Cal Raleigh, who's the cover boy, who's the most likely to homer pick according to the Ballpark Pal. Who do you like?
I think I like Ellie.
Ellie it is. Got more friends and family in here. Grill Belichick joins the squad. Best Ball Viper, the Dog Bowl champion, joins the squad there. And then Sawdog, who's always hanging out in the chat. What's good? What's good? Tyler needs 1 more for the frozen rope and 2 more for the big fly.
He's been calling for the big fly since we started streaming. Somebody fill that goddamn lobby.
If after the pick'em, I know Nez got a little bit of a heart out here, but I know I got real life stuff to do. But if the big fly doesn't fill by the end here, I'll finish the show with the big fly.
What a nice guy. Yeah, in the last 10 days or the last week, Yelich is slugging 815.
815 seems good.
You know what's crazy though? Aaron Judge is slugging 727 on the season.
What? Nez, what do you like here? Some Arizona, but that'll take away infield spots. Kyle Tucker.
I think I'm okay with Arizona, man. I don't know. I don't have a lot of Arizona, so I'm trying to get it through you.
Okay. We'll do Ketel Marte here, and then hopefully Eugenio Suarez comes back, and then we can go contrarian outfield route for the Reds, or we can use Ellie as a one-off. Yeah, Friedel's available there, leading off today. Steer is Friedel. A little bit priced out. Yeah.
I like Friedel a lot.
Do a little Friedel and Fraley wraparound stack. We could address outfield with Kyle Tucker and then see what happens with Arizona, but I think I want to do the Eugenio Suarez plus Ketel Marte skinny.
Yeah, let's go Gino.
Corbin Carroll might come back to us later and we can just take the swap associated with it too. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind last pick Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, it checks out.
I don't think he's playing today, but like that's the point.
Yeah. Who Alec Thomas perhaps then?
If you want to swap to a D-back, probably.
No, I'm not a swap necessarily, just like who draws in that could potentially be in our player pool. Probably Alec Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Haven Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably like what we saw against the Rockies there, like Tim Tawa.
Dude, those lineups were bad. That makes me want to play Shane Smith.
Well, they just like gave these guys like rest because they were so confident.
True. You said you like Friedel, so we're gonna take Friedel with the Ellie pick here.
Yeah. I love Friedel with Ellie.
Sounds good. And then I think we scroll the F down for a wraparound stack left-handed Reds bat. What do you say?
All right, I'll play that.
You want me to take Corbin Carroll, get that sweet GM, play the Q tag. If he plays, he's going to project as like the third best player on the slate. And I'm going to say, nah, my friend. Have you ever heard of a little guy named Rake Fraley, a.k.a. Jake Fraley, former Seattle Mariner? Welcome to the team, Jacob.
We used to have Fraley versus Friedel debates.
We did. I think Friedel has firmly won that one this season.
Oh yeah.
Fraley used to hit fifth. He used to hit fourth. He used to move up to that second spot sometimes. Now he's just like a full platoon outfielder who's buried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lost that battle big time.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple rakes there, eh? Rake Fraley and Rake Rayleigh. Luke Rakeley.
I love it. I love Luke Rayleigh today.
Oh, I like it. They DFA'd Rowdy Tellez over the weekend so that they could clear up a spot for Luke Rakeley. Chad Patrick goes there. I think Ben Brown would be probably my pick here.
Yeah, I'm cool with Ben Brown.
Yeah, we scrolled at pitcher last time, and we scrolled in the construction of this lineup to Jake Fraley. I think Ben Brown would probably be my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get concentrated on any of these guys.
We could also do correlation for the win equity of Lodolo.
That might work.
All right, Ben Brown it is. Ladola goes next to Best Ball Viper there. All right, Nez, everybody's favorite time of the program, which is not, in fact, the end this time. This is, in fact, the home runs. Let's see if we can encapsulate some good price tags for some potential home runs. Actually, last night when we were playing the hoops there, we had some of the sweatiest stuff going. Everyone played the pick'em. There was like 15 of us watching together, and all of us played the extendor pick'em for it. Everyone played like a first basket one. Everyone played like it was so fun. It was so good. Damn, that we were sweating Chet to the bitter end there, but it was so fun to just have the live experience while watching the finals with the Underdog pick'em going. It was so good. All right, Nez. Where does your mind go? Because my mind goes to one player. I did like your Luke Rayleigh. Mine goes to Logan O'Hoppe. I want to take a peek at how much Logan O'Hoppe is today.
Do you think he starts?
I mean, what the hell's going on with their catcher rotation right now? I don't know, but I hope so. I think he should. I think he should be hitting 5th or 6th every single day while Solaire's on the IL. But who am I to say? So, yeah, I mean, Lamont Wade getting a 4.4. You said you liked Angels, and I was intrigued. So I wanted to take a look. O'Hoppe's only getting a 2.32. So I'd rather play Joe Adell at a 2.52, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Joe Adell here. I honestly don't mind Roman Anthony either with the 3X. I know that it's not an Angel, but
okay, well that's the same game environment. Let's do a little Roman Anthony and Joe Adell as a tandem. Get us a nice little 25er to start her off.
Okay.
Oh, bad omen. 6.75. Nope. Can't have that. Can't have that. All right, Joe Adell, Roman Anthony, kind of fun. What else did we talk about? We liked like the Luke Rayleigh one. We like some White Sox stuff. We like some Seattle stuff. We could take a look at what Seattle just is in general.
I think we need to look to after this at the Orioles game that isn't on the slate, but we need to look there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. Wow, JP Crawford with that 4.21 that the ballpark pal loves. That's not terrible. Luke Rayleigh's only getting a 2.56, which means he's a better scroll the F down than he is a pick 'em play, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Cal Raleigh is now getting offered a lower on the Bombas.
Yeah, he's been. Yesterday he was a 0.8x on the lower, and he homered.
Wow. That's so sick.
He's crazy.
Dude, he's coming for AL MVP. I'm saying it. I know Aaron Judge exists. I know how gaudy the numbers are. I'm going Cal Raleigh with the SGA narrative of voter fatigue voting for Joker. They just go like, they wave Aaron Judge this year. Like, we've seen it before, man. We've seen this. We know you're going to hit 50. We know you're going to play whatever defense in right field. And they go, Cal Raleigh's fucking Johnny Bench, bro. And they go with him.
Oh, you can dream.
You can dream. My guy Tyler is all over this Kyle Tucker lefty. He's a lefty killer despite being left-handed. And he's getting a 3.43 there, pairing it alongside JP Crawford. I'd be a fan of that. I did kind of want to play my Brooks Lee, Cal Poly narrative for the bid equity, but I do think it's probably more intelligent that when Kyle Tucker is getting the same price as Brooks Lee, you just go ahead and play Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah, that seems reasonable, does it not? We'll go ahead, add that one in there. We could play Kyle Tucker twice too. So, we could do it with one of the Chicago guys that you liked, like the White Sox.
Yeah, we just got their lineup.
Okay. What are we working with?
Vargas second or third, Slater second.
Yeah.
Caro 4th, Toolshed 5. That little Chase Mydroth leading off.
Yeah. Chase just got no pop.
No, not for homers, no.
Yeah.
I like Ramon Laureano today, though.
Cal Raleigh catching the Cal Poly matchup.
Oh, shit.
As the narrative.
Oh, my God. Is that good for him? Does he benefit from that?
He directionally, that's directionally accurate in real life. That's what that is. Like directionally adjacent.
He should get a bump in the projections for that.
Man, I have too much fun talking baseball with you. Dude, let's jump to this first game on the slate that you were intrigued by. What is it that stood out to you with the Corbin Burns matchup versus 100 degrees in Baltimore?
Corbin Burns?
Or sorry, Patrick Corbin.
RIP?
Yeah.
Patrick Corbin against Trevor Rogers. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go here, but like I try to like have no fear with the righties against the wall here, and I like Ramon Laureano, 3x. He's been hitting really well for the Orioles, so I threw him in there. I threw in Adolis Garcia too, who is seemingly seeing the ball now.
Did you? I like your shout with Adolis. Did you see the breakdown of what he's done?
I did not.
He is mechanically. He took. I think there was like a 3-day window where he got an off day. He got 2 off days, and then he had a break, and he did a bunch of cage work, and he's changed a bunch of things. Bat angle more vertically. Drive side hand comes down. They shifted his stance. Like it's very interesting. They did a full breakdown of it on the broadcast on the, I guess it was like the whatever Saturday or like the main not like nationally televised Saturday Fox broadcast.
That's cool. I mean,
yeah.
Since the month of June, I mean, he's really picked things up. So he has a long way to go to get back on the right side of of the WRC plus, but it does seem like whatever he's done has been helping in the month of June.
Hopefully he can take whatever he learned and teach it to Josh Young as well. Yeah.
And Corey Seager while he's at it.
Yeah. Fuck. All right, dude. Anyone else that we would want to potentially hit on here? I know you had some White Sox love. Those might be down right now, but I can refresh once we got the lineup. But anybody else that's coming to mind? Anyone else in the chat that's coming to mind?
No, I don't really think so.
Okay. I'm cool with what we got. I think we cooked a little bit there. I do like the lefty shout in the chat. Dude, Carson Palmer getting that little 3-4-3. Obviously a bad place to hit home runs, especially for right-handed power.
Who?
Carson Kelly. Who did I say? Who did I say this time?
The quarterback for the Bengals in the year 2006.
Carson Palmer?
You did.
It just reminds everybody that I have the IQ of a toddler. Great stuff.
The synapses in your brain, man, just
dude, the wires just get crossed over and over and over again.
You're tangled up.
Yeah. Anything we like from that San Diego one? Hard hit rate for righty in here somewhere. Dude, is Jackson Morrell coming back tonight?
No, he came back yesterday. He hit a double.
Oh, shoot. I did not have that in my notes. Thank you. Jackson Morrell, not terrible lefty. If you want to go play game stacking of that, his ADP is probably pretty buried.
Yeah, it's low.
I mean, yeah, he was bad before he went on the IL, but like, okay. That's a fun one. All right, Nez. Where's my guy in the chat right now? Big Fly going backwards. Shame on you, people. I will give it 2 clicks, and if we can fill it, we will draft it. If it does not fill in What do you think? The time we make one more home run? Where? I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. $100 from my pocket to the dog app. 2 more spots. Who's gonna pony up and watch me light this on fire? Corbin Carroll has the out tag on the black and yellow dog app. There we go. We filled it up. Tyler's got it. All right. Oh, Nez takes. Cheeky bastard.
I need to get this shit filled. I gotta go. I gotta run to the store. I forgot a critical item yesterday.
What is said critical item?
Penne pasta.
Ooh, nice.
My mother-in-law's here. She does. So it's not any sauce. It's just like just like well seasoned with oil and there is a little bit of onion in there and lemon with shrimp and some little tomato grapes and broccoli in there. So just a nice pasta.
Meatless Monday at the Nez house, huh?
Yeah, a lot of shrimp going down here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I ran a lot of errands yesterday. Had a good Sunday. The kid was with my in-laws, so went to the store. Did a whole bunch of stuff. Stuff.
Look at you. Love to see it. Nez, I can't ask you for advice. I'm fucked. This is okay. I'm going with my heart here.
This is why I joined this fucking lobby.
Yeah, I'm going to start cooking out here, my friend. You ready for this?
Chef it up.
You're going to pass on. I'm torn between Big Dumper and Ellie right now, but I'm going with my heart. Big dumps going Yahtzee today. Big dumps.
Not marked safe so far. You haven't truly cooked yet.
Oh, buddy, get ready to learn. Get ready to learn Luke Rayleigh, buddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Here, there's a bit of seasoning on the food.
Hey, so you never know, man. That's not a prerequisite for a lot of people's meals. You'd be surprised.
Shout out to John Kirk, who's in here as well, former Dog Bowl champion, the OG original Miami champion. Chris is hanging out, Tyler's hanging out, and A. Clark. If you're hanging out in the chat, say what up, my friend.
Oh man. All right, let's do
This gets tossed.
I'm gonna do Woo or Schwelly.
I don't know, man. That's up to you. I think you were the Schwelly guy.
I'm actually gonna make Kurek pick for me.
Oh, yeah, that's the smarter of the two.
Hopefully he makes me pick.
That's an evergreen, single entry, principle here that Nez is rocking there. That you get the 2 pitchers and you deem their projection somewhat similar. You make the other guy pick, and if he doesn't pick at all, he goes, "Oh no, I want to set up this skinny stack." You just get Schwelly back. So evergreen drafting, personal, absolutely, dude, just absolute masterclass right now from my guy Nez in how to cook. Didn't work out in the 101 fashion for him, but he cooked.
Yeah, I have a lot of Schwelly in the main, so that's fine.
Classic Nez hedge on his biggest entry of the night.
That's right. That's what this is all about.
You want to play the best play.
That's what this contest is for.
I got you. Hedging his portfolio. All right, we get A. Clark taking Marte. Kyle Tucker goes lefty right there. Michael Nelson could be on this team. Come on down. Dude, I love a Michael Nelson, Joe Adell mini right now. Oh, buddy, this team's gonna cook so hard. I've already made it in my mind, and it's so nice. Oh, it's so nice, Nez.
Are you only drafting AL West teams?
Yeah. This is a full AL West. Stock it up.
Kahanowitz coming on this team? Oh,
let's go, baby.
A little Soto here.
Okay. Tyler goes with Soto. Dude, I want to go with Rake Rayleigh, but I'm scared I'm gonna get sniped on Joseph Adell. So I got to get Joe. I got to get Big Joe in here to stack up my Angels. Let's get that thing cooking.
Pussy.
Chris likes Cubs today. Dansby Swanson.
Interesting. Oh, Chris.
We haven't seen him go in the main yet, so he's cooking. Let's see what our guy Clarksey is going to do here. Are you thinking Tatis is going to be a one-off for you, or do you like some of those righties against Mitchell Parker this evening?
No, I'm going to stack the shit out of this.
Nice. Get a little Manny Machado. Not hitting home runs right now, but still hitting well.
He's having a hell of a season.
Like underappreciated season.
Very much so. Very much so.
How many bayous does he have on the season, though?
12 of them.
That's actually more than I thought. All right.
8 stolen bases.
Yeah. Did you see the stat that came? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
You see the stolen base stat that was floating around this morning that Matt Chapman has more steals with the Giants than the rest of his career combined?
Huh.
Yeah, he's been with the Giants for like a year and a half.
Man, those bigger bases just making all the difference.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew with Narrative Street here. Abrams and Wood, Soto deal reverse.
Oh, total revenge narrative. Total
revenge narrative in play here. Dude, I was absolutely snoozing that one wasn't in the notes. That's on me.
Not that it matters for us. You're about to pick, but Seager getting the day off today.
Oh, interesting.
Dude's
all right.
Broken.
Everybody wants me to be like, oh, yo, take. He's like, everybody wants me to take Zach Neto, play the best plays out here. Nolan Shanaway has been hot recently. It's Logan Big Boppy Hoppy going deep day today, my friend.
I love that. I hope he starts for you.
Thank you. Me too. Now, Nez would tell me that I've scrolled enough. He's like, you've scrolled so many times. You got so many 30-plus ADP guys.
Got to get leverage in a 44-person contest or whatever the fuck this is. Got to.
If you're going to win, you got to win in style, Nez. I'm thinking about who I want my SP1 to be, and I don't want to scroll all that much. I think I got to lock it up now before the other 3 on the side of the board go. And I think Chad Patrick's like the mean projection bro right now. I think if I wanted a little levy, maybe I'd go the Shane Smith route. But I think Chad Patrick, just take my 7 points and move on here. The stack is what wins it for me.
Pad Chatrick. That's all I can. That's all I can hear. I might go against you, dude. I'm thinking about it.
You're gonna start
going against you in a big way.
Wow, interesting. You went Paul Goldschmidt as a potential one-off here. You just Nez is out here playing the best plays. I thought he was gonna go full Slam Diego stack.
You don't need to go full. You don't need to go full whale's vagina, but just a little. Just a little. So we're going to go. Let's see here. What do I want to do?
Such a dick.
I mean, do you want to play the best plays or what?
It is Liam era right now.
Let's go. Let's definitely go against you. We're definitely got to fade you here. We're going to go.
Slow Neil. Slow Neil Cruz.
Dude, worst week of his life last week.
Yeah, it was bad.
He went like 2 for 22 or something.
Bounce back spot here.
That's what we're thinking. Yeah.
New Cruz was coming. M-Wald getting Ellie at 10. You love to see it, man. That's why you don't chase the GMs because you know they're out there.
Canceled.
Mitt return 7 electric bungalow co-champion.
Oh, look at these diamonds. Look at these diamonds.
Dude, you're blinding the stream, bro. Stop blinding the people.
It's chipping away. Pretty soon you're not even going to be able to see what that says.
I love that Liam's like forever screenshot picture has a chip in it, and it's like that, and it's got like a chip on it.
Mine at least came in perfect condition. I chipped it off through wear and tear.
Yeah,
So
from
I wear it
grinding.
out when I go to the store and stuff.
That's because you got grinding man's hands. You know, you got calluses on these hand builder hands.
All right, let's
see what he does. Brian Reynolds, Jackson Morrell. Okay, there you go. So a little 3-man and then 2 1-offs for Nez there. Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, and Jackson Morrell kind of underrepresented in the main contest, that stack. And then O'Neal Cruz, who always pops in the hashtag models because he's fast and hits the ball hard. And then Paul Goldschmidt in a righty versus lefty spot that's nice. And then, pending who you ask, SP1 and or SP2 on the slate, Brian Wu. Well constructed, well done, Nathaniel.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting by the Pick'em lobby. Not a big difference between Brian Wu and Chad Patrick today in the Pick'ems. Schwelly looking the same as Brian Wu in the Pick'em lobbies as well. And then your guy, Erod, not too far off either. So always like to cross-reference with the Pick'ems.
We are going for a full team that has 3 completely unowned players on it, Nez, to scoop this 44-man contest. This is Luke Rakely on this team alongside Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, Logan O'Hammer, a.k.a. Logan O'Hoppy Boppy, Joseph Adele, who's the hottest player on planet Earth, Michael Nelson Trout, ever heard of him, and Chad Patrick giving me those 7 fantasy points that I need.
You did okay. You were scaring me at first the way you were talking a big game, but I like what you did here. I like both these games.
There have been worse ways to spend 100 USD on the platform of the people. All right, guys, Tybo on it there. We'll be back tomorrow for a double dip, one for the Membies, which will be a baseball show, which undoubtedly is going to have a Dodger on the cover there. And then the first one will be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern alongside the great Pete Overzet. We will be doing off and on the clock, maybe a chat vote on what we draft. We're definitely going to look at the Pick'em lobby in terms of NFL season-long stuff and juxtapose that to what's going on in the ADP landscape. And who knows, maybe we build up some spicy marks too. We get a little excited, build some season-long pick'ems tomorrow. So that'll be a lot of fun there. If you guys have not checked out the Solver Series video 1.01 has dropped. It's got some good reception right now, 800 views, that sort of thing. It's going to be listed right down here. Pretty fun. We looked into Nez's portfolio a little bit, a couple of his teams. We did some slow draft picks, and then we ripped a $3 Schnauzer 2 in that one. Pretty fun 20-second draft alongside the Solver series that is going to be reoccurring over the remainder of the summer there. Anything else for the people there, Nez?
No, I will see in the lobby. So, but Wednesday, I would imagine no show or post randomizer or something. I gotta prep. I gotta prep for this randomizer.
So
I'm going on the randomizer on Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
So in our normal time slot, we'll probably co-broadcast or something like that. Nez is going to be on the randomizer with Pete at 2 p.m. Eastern there. So our show will be either pushed to before or after, or I'll do a solo thing right after Nez is done or right before, that sort of thing. Yeah, Ludog's right. No prep, zero prep here. You got to just go in blind. You don't look at a single prompt or anything.
Oh, I'm not looking at the prompts. I'm just,
mentally
preparing myself mentally. I got the message and like I had like a fear of dread, like enter my spine. I was like, I'm a little nervous.
Hey, as a former randomizer participant or whatever, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's good. And you're going to do something embarrassing. You're going to sing "Oh Canada" in French. That's what you're going to do. It's just going to happen. You just got to assume it. Shout out to our guy Car Park, dropped off $50 at our door. Best community in the industry. This is a goated space, and we love y'all for being here. In the words of Bill, let's have a slate, boys. Yes, looking forward to this one. All right, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Back tomorrow. Peace.